Good morning. Yesterday we talked about Moses sending the 12 spies into the land. We talked about 10 coming back with a bad report and the 2 that came back with a good report. We go on into the next chapter, into Numbers 14, and we see that at the report of the 10 men, the Moses and Aaron went face down before the Lord and before the people, and they wept and they cried out. And it says that Caleb tore his clothes, rent his clothing, and as a sign of mourning, because they knew that God had promised that to them. They knew, and their hearts were broken, and they mourned and they grieved because they were in the middle of a people who were not ready to go there yet. Have you ever found yourself there? Have you ever found yourself in a place where you think, Lord, I know this is what you've told me. Lord, I know this is what you've called me to, and this is what you've promised me. But I am surrounded by people who tell me that I can't do it. I'm surrounded by people who think the possible is impossible. What do you do in those times? You can't just jump up and leave and run, because God has assigned you, the task has assigned you where he has assigned you. And we see Moses and Aaron and Joshua and Caleb continue to serve faithfully, even though they're not in complete agreement. Actually, they're believing the exact opposite. But their hearts were right before the Lord, and they chose to continue in faithfulness in the place that God had positioned them, even though they wanted to go this direction, even though they knew there was blessing in this direction. God had assigned them to a community, had made them a part of something that was bigger than they were. And because of that, they couldn't just cut and run. They couldn't do it and remain faithful to the calling of the Lord. For those of you today who maybe believe that God has a calling beyond where you are able to walk right now, because of your situation, because of your circumstances, because of the community that you find yourself in, my encouragement to you is be faithful. Be faithful to what God has called you to do. And when the time comes, if the time comes for the Lord to release you, he will make that so clear to you. But until that happens, stay faithful. Keep a good heart before him. Keep your spirit clean before him. And then when he decides what he's going to do, you can walk out with freedom. You can walk with joy. You can go forward with peace. Steward well the places, the positions, and the people to which you have been assigned. He is faithful. You be faithful. Amen. Amen.